Welcome to Jack's Shortcuts, where the topics from the past become the present of today. So, without further ado, let's begin. The Irate Gamer is an online review show created by Chris Bors, inspired by the Angry Video Game Nerd, or AVGN for short. In this video, I want to focus on the evolution of the Irate Gamer to highlight how the show went from aping the style of the AVGN very closely to becoming a full-fledged show with its own style. Season 1 was released back in 2007. In it, the similarities between the AVGN and the IG are the most noticeable. Something else left mostly unmentioned, however, is the way the Irate Gamer talks and inflects his lines, which was even lampshaded 17 years later, when the show revisited the NES Back to the Future game. Amusingly enough, this mostly just applies to the first episode, due to it being made purely for laughs and nothing else. With the exception of the episodes reviewing the Super Mario Bros. 2 and the Yo Noid game, which introduced the evil gamer who got sent to hell and then tried to escape it, the episodes had no real storylines to speak of, and mostly featured special effects heavy scenes, by giving the IG superpowers that wouldn't be alluded to in later seasons, since Season 1 had a more simplistic approach, which didn't take its writing too seriously. Season 2's most unique aspect is that compared to the first season, it had several two-parter reviews, because back then, YouTube videos couldn't be longer than 10 minutes, so their length had to be trimmed down. And it's also the season that added more storylines compared to the first season. Oh, and it also served as the introduction of two fan-favorite characters. The first one would be Ronnie the Skeleton, who used to get a lot of hate from haters but was well liked by fans. And probably the most beloved character of them all, the Wise Sage, played by Eric Elm. The season finale, which featured the Rob the Robot accessory, is very interesting because this episode actually reviewed the games made for Rob the Robot years before the AVGN covered them. And similarly to the IG episode, James would also write Rob as a villain. Whether or not the AVGN ripped off that episode is debatable, but it really is an amazing coincidence. Season 3 would add more skits with the side characters of the show, and also had the IG review the infamous Atari ET game once again before the AVGN did it. Unlike with the Rob the Robot example though, these reviews had absolutely nothing in common in terms of writing, and their opinions on the game differed, with the IG hating it, while the AVGN didn't like it either. He also thinks that it's not nearly as awful as its reputation makes it out to be. This season would be the foundation for the more skit-style approach the show would eventually evolve to. But we'll get there soon. To be continued.